All right. Today's date is 1st October 2025. I have a topic for us, John Bull. I'll title this topic John Bull. But before we begin, let's sing this song. My father taught me this song when I was a little boy. I think I was 7 or 8. John is my son. I send him to school to learn how to spell John Bull. John, John, Bull, Bull. This is the way how to spell John Bull. John is my son. I send him to school to learn how to spell John Bull. John, John, Bull, Bull. This is the way how to spell John Bull. This is a song my father sang and taught me many years ago. You know, an African father was taught or was told or was convinced to send his son to school to go and learn how to spell John Bull. To go and learn how to spell John Bull. The illiterate father who could not teach his son how to spell John Bull was excited to send his son to go to school and learn how to spell John Bull. Very beautiful. Very, very magnificently beautiful. I sent my son to go to school to learn how to spell John Bull. John, John, Bull, Bull. Now he knows how to spell John Bull, and I am very, very happy. Now he knows how to speak English, and I am very, very happy. Now he is a graduate. Now John Bull is a graduate. He can speak, he can write his name in capital letters. But the question I'm asking is, why is John struggling for survival? Why is John struggling to pay bills? With all the spelling of names, with all the English, with all the degrees. Why can't John do simple, basic things for himself? Why is John begging to look for employment? John has finished speaking English. John has finished learning how to read and write. John has finished learning how to spell his name. But John cannot do anything for himself. Before John went to school, John knew how to till ground. Before John went to school, John knew how to tap palm wine. Before John went to school to learn how to spell John Bull, John knew how to make machetes. John knew how to make metals. John knew how to build house with mud. John knew how to do nkanya. John knew how to plant yam. John knew how to produce food. But today, John has abandoned his ways. John has abandoned what would have preserved his survival. John is now focusing on how to spell his name. A moment silence for John. John can no longer do the basic things that he used to do for himself. Because the time that John was supposed to learn how to do these things for himself and master them, John abandoned them and went to learn how to spell John Bull. John is my son. I send him to school to learn how to spell John Bull. John, John, Bull, Bull. This is the way how to spell John Bull. John, you have finished learning how to spell John Bull, but you cannot feed your family, one wife and one child. John, what is your fate? John, what is your fate after spelling John Bull? John, John, Bull, Bull. This is the way how to spell John Bull. John is 40 years, John has not married. Because John is chasing how to spell John Bull. Even when John knows that he has been lied to, he still wants to send his children to also go and learn how to spell John Bull. Why is John so stupid? Why is John so foolish? Nature, why is John so blind? John has learned how to spell John Bull, but he cannot take care of his family. I weep for my African youth. How do I start to tell John that after you are done learning how to spell John Bull, what is the usefulness of you spelling John Bull? How does it add? What value does you spelling John Bull? How does it contribute to your general growth in life? Didn't you know already that your name is John Bull? Now you can spell your name, no problem. You can pronounce your name very nicely, no problem. But does that put food on your table, John? Does that pay your bills? Does that preserve your children? John is my son. You know, John believed the process of education so well because it was his father that sent him. It is in his instincts to trust his father. But what John failed to understand that even his father was corrupted. The ideology that was introduced to his father when his father was young was polluted. His grandmother took his father to a place where they feminized his father when his father was a child. So his father is growing. His father doesn't even know his right from his left. All what his father is thinking is that when I finish sending John to go and learn how to spell John Bull, when John finished learning how to spell John Bull, John will be able to do all the things that I couldn't do for John. John will be able to do everything I couldn't even do for myself. John is my son, my beloved son. I send him to school to learn how to spell John Bull. J-O-H-N John, B-U-L-L Bull. This is the way how to spell John Bull. John, please. I don't have issue with you going to learn how to spell John Bull. But please, have it at the back of your mind that when your father was sending you to go and learn how to spell John Bull, he was paying the school fee. But the question I should ask you, how was he able to pay your school fee to go and learn how to spell John Bull? There was something your father was doing. Your father was tapping palm wine to send you to go and learn how to spell John Bull. What you were supposed to do after you finished learning how to spell John Bull was not just for you to abandon your ways of your father's tapping palm wine. You were supposed to finish learning how to spell John Bull and come back and improve your father's tapping palm wine. Maybe you tap this palm wine, but this time around you use your knowledge of spelling John Bull to know how to preserve this palm wine and export it. And take this palm wine to where there is no palm wine and give to people who doesn't have palm wine. In return, these people will give you money and you will use money to do for yourself what you cannot do for yourself. But all what you are doing is your father has been selling palm wine to send you to go and spell John Bull. And you are done spelling John Bull. But all what you are doing is to just be cramming, memorizing how to spell John Bull. J-O-H-N John, B-U-L-L Bull. J-O-H-N John, B-U-L-L Bull. But at the end of the day, me spelling John Bull does not add any value to me. Can we reinstitute our educational system? Can we rechannel our educational system to promote what our forefathers were doing, so that we will stop seeing our forefathers as if they were illiterate? I just finished having a conversation with my younger brother, and to my greatest surprise, my younger brother thought that my forefathers were illiterate, that they could not read and they could not write, so they could not pass information down to us. Look at he's in his 20s, middle 20s. He believes strongly in his heart. He believes strongly in his heart, genuinely, with no offense, his own opinion, that his forefathers were stark illiterate because his forefathers could not read and write. What is reading and writing? Reading and writing simply means you writing something for the next generation to come and see this information. I write this information and document it and keep it for the next generation to come in and see it. That is the purpose of reading and writing. It doesn't mean illiterate. It doesn't mean that the person is smarter than you. Your forefathers had the way of also keeping information to the next generation. They had what we call carvings. They know a certain tree, that this tree, they know that this tree, if they cut this tree and carve it out, it can stay thousands and thousands and thousands of years and nothing will happen to it. Even if water touches these carvings, nothing will happen to it. So they design their history, they wrote it down in carvings, and they pass it through generation. So each time they will bring in the elder of every family, and they will taught the elders of the family. You see, this is what my father taught me. You see this thing, this is what this symbol means in these carvings. It means that your great-grandfather did this and did this and did this. These carvings, this is what it means. They pass it down to the firstborn, knowing fully well that when firstborn has this knowledge, the firstborn will be able to teach his siblings and also transfer it to the next generation. They were not illiterate. Let me ask you one question. If our forefathers were illiterate, how come they passed the information of how to make machete, how to make hunter's guns, how to tap palm wine? How was you grew up, at least you grew up to see your father tapping palm wine? How was your father able to know the knowledge of tapping palm wine? If their forefathers that was tapping palm wine thousands of years, if they didn't have any means of passing down informations, they had a way of doing their own documentation. Their own documentation was not to use ink and write. A white man was using ink and write because a white man was not creative. A white man wasn't that intelligent in terms of artifacts. So, and they created their own, and their own was even temporary, because paper, you can easily destroy paper. You can easily burn books. You can easily destroy books. But our forefathers were so intelligent, we are so advanced, that their level of illiteracy was advanced. It was not limited to just books. They did carvings. They will cut a tree, carve those trees, do proper documentation of history that they can teach you, and you will look at those carvings and understand everything there. The wise man came in and said that was idol worship, because they did not understand that what a father was doing to his first son was to teach him the history of his forefathers, so that he will be able to navigate life, so that whenever he is facing any challenges in life, he will know that, oh, my father has encountered this challenge before in life, and this was how he solves it. The wise man came in and packed those artifacts. They packed them so that we will not even want those artifacts again. They told us that those artifacts were idol worship. Those artifacts were Satan, were demonic, were barbaric. They were the reason why things were difficult in the land. And you ask them, how were things difficult in the land? My mother was able to eat and cook food, and neighbors will come in and eat. How were things difficult? Is it not now, after taking those things away, that we are really seeing the real difficulty? Is it not now that we are really seeing the way a human being, a black man, will turn up and kill another black man? Even when the Bible has completely opened and said that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, he was teaching. He said we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against principalities and powers. And a typical African man interprets that we wrestle, that what that means is that what we are fighting is spiritual. What we are fighting is powers, authorities, spiritual governance. No, the truth that is there in that place is that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. My brother, you are black like me. You are my blood. You are my flesh. You are my species. I don't fight you. In this reality, we don't fight ourselves. We have powers that wants to fight, that wants to finish us. Let us join together and fight these greater powers that want to oppress us. Another authority, another government, another people who wants to kill us, who want to wipe us off, who want to oppress us. We wrestle not against principalities, and we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. But now a typical black man is now wrestling against his own flesh and blood. A father is now killing his own children, his own flesh and blood. Cousins are now killing cousins. We now wrestle among ourselves. Tinubu is now his own people. Tinubu is now closing eye and watching his people suffer. Something that we can easily do and make life better for everybody. We have the resources, but they turn blind eye because they have been taught that they have been taught to instead of focusing on promoting the unity among themselves, they should think in their mind collectively that there is a superior power that is fighting them. There is Satan somewhere in the spiritual realm that is making life so unbearable for them, while they are fighting among themselves, not knowing that they are the devils, they are the Satans, they are the evil among themselves, killing each other, making life very, very miserable for each other. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We are not supposed to fight each other. Ghana was not supposed to be having issue with Nigeria. Nigeria was not supposed to have issue with Ghana. We are brothers. We are flesh and blood. But now, the opposite is the case. Because John has been sent to school to go and learn how to spell John Bull. It was not, I'm coming to tell John's father that unfortunately it is not only John Bull that John has gone to school to learn. John has gone to school to learn other things. John has gone to school to learn how to be so obsessed with money that he can even kill his own brother for it, and he doesn't mind. He can even betray his own brother for it, and he doesn't mind. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. Thank you very much, Ebro Sokoi, your revolutionary thinker. Revolutionary thinker will always step in to do the thinking for us.